All right, everybody, we are back. So last time we left off with a little bit of difficulties. We had a few errors kicking. I managed to kind of hunt out what the problem was. Basically, it was a null check, believe it or not. And remember to do your null checks in the codes, boys and girls. Definitely can save you a lot of woe further down the line. So let's go ahead and get back to it though. But before we do, let me go ahead and show you what I should have shown you at the end of the last video. Let me show you what this looks like whenever we link two labyrinths together. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up my template of doom. The doomiest of all templates. Get in there. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, we kind of had a mountain jump in on us, which is unfortunate. Ooh, and apparently I have to turn off my debugging things. But okay, but yeah, let's go ahead and get this. But as you can see, we now have two separate labyrinths. This right here, these are actually the nodes. Actually, I'm kind of happy I left this setting on. This right here is actually showing the node grid that's used to spawn the labyrinths themselves. Right here, this is going to be a map-wide grid. And whenever you are setting your shapes, right? So for example, jump back over. Inside of our labyrinth def, how we set our shape down here, this is actually what the shapes are doing. They are either include, or well, technically they're all excluding nodes, depending on if it's inside or outside of the shape. So right here we had a rectangle, and I said that it's negative, so therefore it cut out all of these nodes that were outside the shape, and it only walked inside of the shape. This one over here, we did the same thing, where we cut out all these other nodes. All right. But yeah, so in general though, this is what you can expect to see whenever you do linked labyrinths. I could have done one as a circle, one as a triangle. I could have done them as lines. I could have got very creative with this. But all right, enough about that. All right, so what we're going to do today is that we are going to go ahead and take a look at making these labyrinths a little bit more exciting. So first off, what I want to do, let me see real quick. So yeah, so what I want to do is that I'm going to also show you how to do a chained labyrinth, or basically to do a another labyrinth at the end of this labyrinth. So like that, kind of show you the full versatility. But what I also want to do right now, before we go into making yet another labyrinth, is go ahead and put rooms into these two labyrinths. And then I can also kind of switch it up a little bit. But let's go ahead and focus primarily on making rooms. See real quick. Okay, so 3 minutes into the video, and I'm finally getting to the goddamn point. Alright, here we go. So basically, the rooms are going to be made inside of the labyrinths. Right now, we have a number of different ways to make the rooms. I recently finished a conversion method, in which case I can use Fluffy's blueprint mod. Where's it at? Right over here. To select to where I can build inside of the game, and then use that to select out and export a room. But for right now, let me go ahead and show you the good old-fashioned way. Basically, what you want to do is you want to look for these end pieces, or basically any of these walled sections in the middle. These are all rooms. If you open one up, you'll see that it's hollow. And what's going to happen is that there's a certain template that all of these follow. There's a certain room size for each one. And what we're going to see, there's a lot of math involved here, but in general, what ends up happening, so we see that this is a 6x9 room. So I'm going to jump on over to my map lots. Over here. Okay, so going back out of there, going back into my template, I'm now going to open up my map lot defs, and I'm going to go ahead and get one of these started up. Okay, so in the header you have a lot of detail. And then down here we have one of our templates. So what you're going to want to do is that there's going to be a considerable amount of copy pasting going on here. The map lots themselves are used to fill in those rooms that you saw inside the labyrinth. And what we're going to have to do is that we're going to have to go ahead and set the path width depending on everything else. Now, generally the math is easy. I have the equations right here. And then the idea is that the rooms are always going to be a certain size. So what we did, so let me just go ahead and show you what we're looking at here. So if we go back to the labyrinth, you remember that we set these to a path width of 2. So if I come up over here, our path width is 2. So you can see right here, if I plug 2 into these equations, then this is going to become 6. This is going to be 9. And this right here is going to be 12. Alright, so then now we have L1, L2, L3, and then now I can come down here and you can see that there's 5 different types of rooms. And the type 1 room is L1 by L2. So in this case, it's going to be 6 by 9. And that's one of the ones that we actually saw whenever we were looking in there. Alright. So it's either 9 by 6 or 6 by 9. And this is what we're going to be making right here, is going to be a 6 by 9 room. So let me come down here and we're going to get started. So what you want to do is you want to make a nice unique def name. So because there's going to be a lot of these, you want to really unique the hell out of them. Then on top of that, it's also better to kind of describe, because they have all these variations to them. It's better to describe, to give yourself a lot of metadata inside of the def names to kind of keep you organized, right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to make this into a a bedroom. So it's going to be a living quarters. So I'm going to say living, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put P2 for path width 2, and I'm going to say that's T1 for the type of room. Up over here, and the room in particular we're trying to make is going to be a horizontal room. So if you remember, we're trying to do this room right over here in the middle. All right. So to do this, we're going to do a horizontal. So type 1 H, and the idea then is that the H means that the X is bigger, so it's going to be a 9 by 6 room. So if I come down over here to my lot size, say 9, 0.06 or 0.6. All right. And now it's ready to go ahead and place this inside of that room. What's going to happen is that whenever you run it, it's going to be able to match this lot size to the size inside the labyrinth, and it's going to go ahead and place it in there. All right, so let's go ahead and get everything else done. So the lot name has to be unique to other lot names. So that's why I usually just copy the def name into there. The lot tags, technically this is obsolete. Well, not really obsolete, but it's being used for something else, for future projects. So you don't really have to worry about it. So I'll just go ahead and just say Labby for labyrinth. It doesn't actually matter. It's going to be used for auto sorting in the future. Alright, so for use blueprint def and for blueprint def name, this is going to be using Fluffy's blueprint mods. So this is going to be the other way that we can make these rooms. I'm going to show you how to do one of those in a little bit. Alright, so for the shapes, this is going to be the main way that we're going to put items into the rooms, and that's going to be with these shapes. So let me just go ahead and show you real quick. We're going to make this one fairly easy. So we're going to come down over here. Oh, let me switch over. So back in the game, I'm just going to go ahead and build the room up, just so you can kind of see what it looks like, or at least see what the procedure is. Now it does take a little bit of time, so I'm not going to make it terribly complicated. So let's go ahead and give it some sterile tile inside of there, and we'll go ahead and give it some furniture. I guess it's a sterile tile, even though we said it's a living quarters. We'll go ahead and make it a little hospital room, right? So we'll put a hospital bed in there, and let's also go ahead and put a vitals monitor. Actually, hold on, let me put something that I need two of. So I'll put 2 hospital beds. How's that sound? So I'll put down my vitals monitor, and then I'll put 2. Alright, so a little medical ward, and of course, we're going to need a door. Right over there. Fantastic. Alright, so this is a good enough room. Obviously, I'd have to run power to it to run that. So I might actually swap that out for something else. Throw the torch down. Call it a day. Same basic effect. It's a template. Okay. So right here, we're going to go ahead and remake this room. What you want to do whenever you're making the room, let's go ahead, is you're going to look for the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to be this corner down here, and everything's going to kind of branch out from there, right? So the idea is that the absolute corner of the room itself is going to be down here, right? In the because remember we did a full 6x9, so this is going to be the corner of the room. So what we're going to do is that we're going to basically anchor everything from here inside of the room. So let's just go ahead and do the first thing, which is going to be this floor. So this floor, you can see, is going to be at position 1, 1, and it's going to go up and over, and it's going to have 6, 7 by 4. All right, so let me jump on over. Okay, so for right here, what we're going to do is that for the shape name tag, we're going to call it the floor. For the shape def tag, we're going to use sterile tile. So let me go ahead and make sure. So, it actually is sterile tile. Okay. Usually it's tile first, and then, I don't know. So, anyway, okay. So, right here. So, see? I did it again. Alright, so we got sterile tile. The stuff, these aren't actually made out of anything because it's just a floor. Shape name, what we're going to do is that this is a floor, so we're going to make a rectangle. And for point A, here, let me see. Actually, I believe, I'm sorry, actually we're going to be 0 indexed here. So let me go ahead and do 0, 0. And then for point B, this is going to be the length of it, and we said it was 4 by 7 or 7 by 4. Yeah. All right. And 7 times 0, 4. All right. Now points D and C we won't actually use for anything. So go ahead. We'll get rid of these. Actually, delete them entirely. And for, there's actually another one. Well, actually, well, we don't have to worry about it right now. I'll bust it out later on if we need it. All right, so this right here should now make a rectangle that starts on this tile right here with relationship to the room. So this is the bottom left-hand corner, and it's going to have 7 by 4. All right. So if we look back over here. I was wrong earlier. It doesn't index from here. That's where the room index is from. The inner room index is from this corner. So you see that we start at 0, 0, and then we're going to go up 7, and then, well, I'm sorry, over 7, up 4. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like right here, since this video is starting to take a while. And then, but then you'll get the idea, and then we'll come back, and then we'll do another one. We'll do the beds in here, and then we'll also go ahead and do the Fluffy's blueprint. Actually, I might do the beds real quick, too. So yeah, let me just show you how to do the beds. They won't be too bad. So we'll go ahead, copy this, throw it down, paste it right here, boom. This time we're going to be doing the beds, so I'm gonna call it beds. For this, I believe the def tag. So let me. Oh, I'm sorry. I was not showing you what I was doing. So what I'm doing right here is that I'm copying my my shapes over. I made another copy of it down here. I'm gonna make it for the beds. The beds. The main difference is that instead of rectangle, we're going to be using something called points 2. And this is how we're going to put our beds in. So let me go ahead and swap back over to the game. So in the game, you can see that for our first bed, it's going to be at position 1, 4. And the second one's going to be at 6, 4. So therefore the first one we said was at 1, 4, and the second one is going to be at 6, 4. 1, 4, is that right? 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 3. Oh, damn, I'm not too good at zero indexing, y'all. All right. So we got this, oh, and then also the actual name itself. I'm sorry, I keep swapping back and forth without switching the observer. So basically all that I did is I updated my points A and my points B to reflect the 1, 3 position of the first bed and the 6, 3 position of the second bed. Points 2 means that I have 2 points. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in the stuff and the tag. So I'm going to go ahead, jump back. Do this, easiest way is to use the inspector. Hover it, and you can see that first off that it is going. So because this bed takes up 2 spaces, you want to go off of the position in the bottom, so you can see that it's indexes to the very top of the bed. As far as the rotation, that's going to be the heading, so that's 2. You want to make note of that. And then if you look at the def, then you can see what the def name is. So this is just hospital bed. Alright, and this is made out of steel. So it's a steel hospital bed. So now let's jump back on over. So hospital bed made of steel. Alright. And then of course we could also put that lamp in there. But let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Jump back to my game and let's restart. Fantastic. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in. See what we can see. I guess at this point I could actually start doing save games. Right. Oh, we forgot to put our doors on, didn't we? Oh, and we forgot to add the damn thing. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. We are not ready. That was just a little joke I like to play. Okay, so right there we're gonna take our def name for our map lot, and we're going to bring it back to our actual labyrinth. We're going to come down to lot lists, and we're going to make a new list entry. So this now tells this labyrinth to look for this room to spawn inside of it. And then it's going to try to put it inside of rooms that it will fit in. So in this case, it should be the type 1 horizontals. Now you can put other rooms in, like an art room or like a rec room or something like that for the type 1 horizontals, and it will also work. So before I go further, how much time am I at? 20 minutes? Screw it. Let's go ahead, keep on going. Oh, that's another thing too. I have to save this as a map lot def. Alright, anyway, so over here, let's go ahead and add a door. Otherwise, we're going to be looking all over for this thing. So this isn't much of anything. I'm just going to fly through it since I pretty much know all of it. Still works. Instead of points 2, we're going to use point 1. Oh, I'm sorry, just point. And, oh, I'm sorry, and I also didn't tell you. So up here for the hospital beds, we said that it was facing a rotation of 2. The middle bit, or the middle bit, the Y value inside of the first, inside of point A is going to be our rotation. So I'm going to put a 2 there, and that's going to make the hospital beds face down. The door, you don't have to worry about that. For the door, where should it be located? So if we look back in the game, so this would be our origin. So 1, 2, 3, and then down 1. So that down 1 is legit. So what we can say then is that we're going to be over 3, and we're going to say we're going to be minus 1 for going down 1. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and save this as alright, so this is going to be a 2p T1 horizontal actually, I'm sorry, just living. There we go. And this is going to be Template of Doom. Alright. I guess I can't actually see when I'm saving. Alright, so this is, okay, so we got that saved up. Now it's an XML. And now we should be able to jump into it. So come over here. Get on this restart. I'm going to have to start like plugging ads or something while we're waiting on these load screens.
Cut them out.
Yeah, I guess I need to just go ahead and get some video editing software. So y'all go ahead and hit me up with some of that Patreon money, right? And so like that, and get some video editing software, right? Until you do, you're gonna have to sit through my load screens. What's up? All right, here we go. And y'all can give me a faster computer too. I mean, shit. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look. So first off, I know some of you may be wondering why I'm not showing any love to my Labyrinth B. That's because my Labyrinth B actually does not have rooms. I did not set it to filled, and if I do not set it to filled, then it will not have rooms. So as you can see, it kind of has this external look to it. It's kind of interesting, maybe useful for something. So let's go ahead and take a look in here. Alright, so we can see that we actually have several of our rooms spawned. Let's see what they look like on the inside. Oh, they came out pretty good. Looks like I was a little off with my counting. You know, counting's difficult and all that. So one of our beds got thrown a little further to the side than I wanted, but we can change that back. For the most part, though, you can you get the idea, where we pretty much have our room. All right, and then if you notice, all of these rooms are all going to be the same. So basically, these are our type 1 horizontal rooms. You can see that this is the same basic variety. This is a type 1 vertical room. And then we also have other types. So this right here is a type 2 room. It's a nice long room. It's just like a type 1 room. Then we have type 3, which are the elbows. Type 4, which are the T's. And then the type 5 is a cross. Okay, so let me go ahead and end this right now before it gets any lamer. And yeah, so y'all like and subscribe.